Hello, welcome to my channel, Save Infinity. In this video, just wanted to do a quick little reading for you from my handmade oracle deck. So if this reading has found you, then I trust that it is for you. However, as always, with timeless collective readings, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and use your own discernment. I'm currently away on a little solo road trip at the moment as well, so I'm kind of intrigued to see, if being in different places and such as I do these readings while I'm away, what sort of energies they sort of bring up or bring through in the reading. Not sure why I felt called to mention that part as well, but maybe a road trip or being away in new energies or something like that might be resonant for you at the moment, or a little sign or synchronicity. Or even just, the energies in general at the moment, within the collective and around the planet, I feel like are just bringing through so much new codes and energy to be received at this time. I'm personally going through, another sort of awakening or ascension stage, or whatever you want to call it, however you like to frame it. There's always new levels and another stages continually with these sort of journeys. So, if that is something you're currently going through at the moment, I hope such energies are treating you well, and you're able to, have lots of fun with it all, and have as much of a magical time with those sort of journeys as I've been able to have also, if even more so. So the first card that came out on the pre-shuffle was the Hathor card. So I feel like that Hathor energy wants to come out in this reading, so we'll take that one and then see what else wants to come out for the rest of the reading. Alright, Spirit, gods, source, Mother Gaia, angels, archangels, ascended masters, unicorns and dragons, which messages of guidance wish to come out for the collective at this time? What messages and energies wish to come out? Thank you, thank you, thank you. What messages wish to come out at this time? So I've got two down here that popped out. I'll fix them up in a sec. Let's see if maybe one more wants to come out. We got three. Maybe I'll move these over just a smidgy. Right, that'll do. I noticed as well on the top of the deck there, standing out to me was the fairies card, which I feel like was just calling to me, so I might pop that in there as well. I feel like that fairy energy was just wanting to pop through, so we'll bring that out too. To say no to the fairies. Okay, so with the first card we have Hathor, embodied joy, sacred softness, maternal, devotion to pleasure, love made audible. And we have pleasure is a form of wisdom. Your body knows how to open what the mind resists. Sound, movement, and beauty are gateways to remembrance. You are held, fed, and loved simply for existing. I noticed as well when I read that your body knows how to open what the mind resists. My hands popped in and the card popped out almost as like an extra little nudge toward that line, like a yes. Exactly. So I feel like that line's extra relevant for this reading. And so I feel like this energy is coming out not only as that real sort of, maternal, loving type energy, really reminding you that you are loved simply for existing and you are held, on your journey. So to, take reassurance in that, but also to really remind you to, be in that embodied joy, to have fun and to, enjoy pleasure and sacred softness along the way. Allowing yourself to fall into movement, whether that's, dancing or some form of, like yoga or exercise, or however, you like to engage with movement in those ways to really ground your energy into your body and to really get in touch with your body in that way, really connecting those mind, body, soul aspects, into that integrated channel for yourself in a way that really allows you to get in touch with that inner wisdom, but also getting in touch with yourself for those gateways of remembrance to really open up and that energy to come through, especially if you are going through another, awakening or ascension type phase at the moment, getting into that sort of grounded, embodied movement type energy within your body can really assist in that coming through for you. And trusting the energy and the little nuggets of wisdom and such that you receive through your body, even if your mind, resists or can't quite make sense of it, or, the egoic part of your mind tries to jump in over the top, just kind of, dismissing that in a gentle way, but really following and trusting that wisdom of your body and what you feel in your body, and allowing that to guide you through your path and journey. And the energy of Hathor is a really beautiful and wonderful energy to work with. So if you do work with that energy, or maybe you're feeling called to work with Hathor at all, that can be a great little sign or synchronicity for you, and is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. And then we've got Jesus, Yeshua, up here, which I feel like as well coming out next to Hathor, those two sort of ascended master energies at the top, with that really strong divine feminine ascended master type energy, and then we have the divine masculine energy out here as well. I feel like is really coming out together full circle here at the top here of this message together. And that may also be a really great little sign or synchronicity for you at the moment, that you are coming into that sort of inner union within yourself with those divine feminine or divine masculine energies, or maybe calling in and aligning, relationships together in that aspect of however it resonates for you as well. So we've got unconditional love, radical teacher, peace, gentle courage, remembrance of divine essence, faith over fear, see through illusions. You have the power to do great and miraculous things. Kindness and courage, peace and boldness can coexist in every choice. Meet yourself and others with patience. Everything you seek is within. You are eternal light and love. I feel like the two lines that really stood out to me for this message are that, meeting yourself and others with patience, really having that patience with yourself in that, especially with that maternal energy coming out here, letting you know that you are loved and held, on this sort of journey, really having patience with yourself as you integrate different energies, and as you kind of, find your feet or go along, just having that patience with yourself, knowing you don't have to understand everything right now, or you don't have to achieve everything right now, letting things unfold as they do, and having that patience with yourself and the world around you. And also you have the power to do great and miraculous things. I like to often think of, Jesus was almost a little bit of, Neo in the Matrix, in a way of, he was turning water into wine and walking on water, and manifesting all sorts of wonderful and marvelous things, really hacking into the code and the programming of the reality around us, right? And he wasn't doing so in a way to be worshipped or anything like that, but to show each and every one of us the power that we have within ourselves too. How does that line go, that everything I do you can do better, or something like that, really encouraging us to know that we also have this infinite eternal power within ourselves, and we can go on to do even greater and more marvelous and miraculous things as well. So along with that earlier message of, trusting that guidance or knowledge, or, even if the mind resists or thinks things can't be possible, remembering that you do have that power to do great and miraculous things. So really trusting and believing in that, and, knowing that there's infinite possibilities in so many marvelous and miraculous ways. Which takes us to the next card really wonderfully, with the belief and imagination here. So we've got faith, creativity, possibility, visualization, manifestation, wonder, inner knowing. Imagination is sacred play. Your mind can open worlds. Allow wonder to guide, not fear. Faith and imagination are portals to unseen realities. Belief gives life to what imagination sees. Possibility is real where your attention flows. Consciously shape the unseen before it lands. And then the one really standing out to me here is your mind can open worlds, allow wonder to guide, not fear. Really going along well with that earlier message of not allowing your mind to shut things down, instead allowing it to open brand new worlds of possibility for you, things that you didn't even think were possible before, but now that you're getting so much more of an understanding that, that we live in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities. And really using your imagination in that way as sacred play. Your imagination is a wonderful portal and key into these infinite realms, in a way that we can access them and bring them through to, really consciously shape the unseen before it lands and before it manifests into the reality we see and experience around us. Knowing that you do have that co-creative opportunity with the universe here, where you and your energy and your inner power are, assisting in manifesting the reality around you that you're experiencing. So really allowing yourself to open up to those possibilities, have, a playful imagination of really the way that you can kind of, tap into all these different possible timelines and what have you, that you can kind of, be steered into for yourself. If you can feel it within you and if you can believe it, then you can absolutely achieve it. There's nothing out of the realm of possibility here for you. Which I feel like leads us wonderfully into the next card with the spiders here, with fate weaving, creation, destiny, interconnection, patience, sacred geometry, focus, intelligence. you might be seeing some sacred geometry at the moment, not just in the natural world with spider webs, but just different, little symbols or what have you, where popping up in your reality might be another a sign for you at the moment to really hone in on your fate weaving and timeline weaving abilities here that we're all fundamentally connected to. So new timelines are being weaved. You are both the creator and the web. What you craft now will hold you later. Be mindful of what you entangle yourself with. Stillness sharpens awareness. Really, really resonating with that earlier message there too, being both the creator and the web. You are co-creating this reality and these experiences with the universe. So, being mindful in an essence of, your energy and where you're allowing your energy to flow into, where your thoughts are carrying you and your feelings and mindsets and what have you, and what sort of possibilities you're imagining for yourself, and what sort of timelines you're kind of weaving behind the scenes in that way. Being mindful to weave and entangle yourself with energies and timelines that resonate for you and that you want to be aligned with, and that you want to bring more of that energy in of, rather than focusing on what you don't want, focusing on what you do want, to really manifest that into your reality for yourself. As your energy is so powerful in that way. So having that focus and having that patience in that way as you fate weave your destiny here. And then we have unicorns. Innocence, sacred truth, heart wisdom, grace, alignment, gentle strength, integrity, purity. Gentleness is not weakness, it is precision. You don't need to harden to be safe. Your truth is safest when you honor it yourself. What is meant for you recognizes your sincerity. What is pure cannot be forced, only chosen. When you choose honesty, the path clears. Really coming through with more of that sort of playful energy as well here, that fun loving playful energy of really encouraging you to tap into your imagination in those ways, and even connecting with the unicorns and the unicorn energy if that calls to you. They're a wonderful and beautiful energy, full of great spirit guides to really assist you with such a journey and getting more into that heart-based wisdom in a playful, imaginative way for yourself. And notice as well the alignment word coming out here really pulls me back to what I was saying earlier, that you might be coming into inner alignment more so at the moment, or going through more of an ascension or awakening that's bringing you more into an alignment here. So that's just another little sign and synchronicity there for that. And it's also sticking out to me as well, when you choose honesty, the path clears, in that aspect of really getting honest with yourself of what your truth is, and what lights up your heart, and really kind of excites your inner child and makes you feel fun and free and playful, and really choosing that for yourself and aligning yourself to those sort of energies to really clear the path for yourself, and to really help yourself weave those timelines and bring in those manifestations that align with that more playful, fun, heart-based energy here for yourself. And then we have discernment, always an important energy. Energetic filtering, intuition, boundaries, truth recognition, inner guidance, clarity. Wisdom arises when you honor what aligns and release what doesn't. Not everything is as it seems. Trust your inner knowing. Listen closely, pause, and sense truth beneath appearances. Discernment is your spiritual radar. Feel what nourishes your soul and step away from what drains it. A really important energy to, always be having and being mindful of. But for the rest of the message here, it's, really standing out and calling to me is, that idea of feeling what nourishes your soul and stepping away from what drains it, as we were mentioning earlier, of focusing more on what you do want and less on what you don't want, and really aligning yourself and putting your focus onto fortifying and creating energies that you do want to experience. So really aligning yourself, your thoughts, your mindset, your actions to those sort of energies that you do want to call in and that you do want to nourish and foster and grow for yourself in order to manifest more of that into your reality. So really just using your spiritual radar and your discernment in a way to really take heed of what is nourishing your soul and stepping away from what isn't. And remembering that not everything is as it seems, and trusting your inner knowing, as also came out with the Yeshua Jesus card earlier, of seeing through illusions. Not everything is always as it seems on the surface level in this sort of reality. So really trusting your gut and your body, as you're aligning with your body and the way things feel for you, and sensing your truth and trusting that inner knowing and those little nudges that you are getting and receiving, no matter how it may appear on the surface or appear on paper. Really trusting how that feels for you and what's aligning for you, and any sort of little nudges or downloads of knowing that come to you. Really trusting that, not allowing the mind, as we said earlier, to interfere in that way, and trusting what your body knows. Alright, and then we have Lemuria, harmony with nature, heart unity, divine feminine, ancient earth wisdom. Building sacred community and restoring earth grids. Walk slowly, listen deeply, and let the earth support you. Lemuria speaks through the heart rather than the mind. Healing comes through tenderness, presence, and honoring the interconnected web of life. So, for this one, a few messages that are really calling out to me to really align with the rest of the message here. Particularly, the Lemuria speaking through the heart rather than the mind. Again, about really, trusting your heart and following your heart, and not allowing the doubts and worries and, fears and concerns of the mind to trample that for you, or to get in the way, kind of giving that a backseat a little bit, and allowing the wisdom of your heart and body to really guide and align you through these sort of processes. Knowing that, healing comes through tenderness, presence, and honoring the interconnected web of light. Really that soft, tender, maternal, divine feminine energy coming through with Hathor earlier, letting you know that you are loved and guided and held. And really allowing that sort of energy to, hold you and to sit through in your body, like in your own inner state and your inner energy, allowing yourself to feel held, to feel loved, by the universe, by the energies around you supporting you, by Mother Earth. And honoring the interconnected web of life, really matching well with the spider energy here, knowing that, all things are interconnected, and that there's, infinite timelines being weaved all around us, that we can, have a co-creative aspect of weaving through for our own reality and our own pathway. And so, knowing that there is that interconnected web of life here that you are a part of and can be guided through in so many different directions. And walking slowly, listening deeply, and letting the earth support you. Having that patience, as we mentioned earlier, with yourself and with the process, and really listening deeply to that inner voice that, you know, feels with your discernment is aligned to more heart-based, grounded energy, as opposed to the frantic worries or the doubts or fears or concerns or what have you of the mind. You know, listening deeply to that inner wisdom and connecting to that power and eternal wisdom and light within yourself, as brought up by the Yeshua Jesus energy here. And then the final one, the magical fairies. So we have trickster magic, delight, subtle realms, curiosity, playful disruption, liminal spaces, otherworldly. Wonder opens doors logic can't unlock. Follow what delights you, it knows the way. Magic moves fastest through play and curiosity. Not everything serious is important, and not everything important is serious. Pay attention to the subtle, fleeting, easily missed. You know, a wonderful and great energy that's so aligned with the rest of the message here. You know, really, really encouraging you to fall into that playful heart-based energy of wonder and imagination, to open those doors and portals that, you know, logic can't unlock. You know, the logic of the mind we often traditionally can place so much value on, but it can also limit us in so many ways and keep us trapped in certain, you know, only certain timelines that align with that logic. Whereas if we kind of set that logic aside a little bit and open up more into imagination and wonder, we open up so many more possibilities and timelines available to us in the infinite realm and universe around us to come through and to be accessed more and manifested into our reality more. And I noticed as well earlier when I was reading the cards out, my body did the whole little dip thing again with the card when I was reading magic moves fastest through play and curiosity. So I feel like that's a little extra nudge that's wanting to come through in this message. And, you know, some of the messages of patience we were coming through before, you know, maybe if you are having little moments of, you know, feeling a bit impatient with certain things, or you know, wanting faster movement with some of your manifestations or with magic or experiences or what have you, to know that play and curiosity is a portal to really fasten and, you know, speed that up for yourself, to help kind of, you know, bring those energies through more easily if we're operating more from, you know, logic or a serious energy, or just some more of those, you know, lower, denser frequencies and energies or what have you, can kind of really slow the process of change and manifestation and aligning to, you know, different timelines. And those sort of shifts can be slowed and dragged down a bit. It almost, you know, blocks up the channel a bit there, blocks up the piping. So, you know, being in an energy of play and curiosity can really help open up those energies and open up the channel to allow the flow to go a bit faster for you. So if that is, you know, even though we are encouraging patience from the messages coming through earlier, if you are also, you know, wanting to move things a little bit quicker in some regard, try to do so through play and curiosity rather than, you know, control or a serious energy. And, you know, just letting go a bit more in that really fun, curious, playful way, and, you know, being curious with your imagination and the unicorn sort of energy and all that stuff we were mentioning before, you know, all that magic. And, you know, even the ideas of, you know, the miracles and stuff that you can achieve, you know, just like Jesus, Yeshua, you know, was able to do so many marvelous, miraculous things. So can you. So, you know, have that playful curiosity in that way, and follow your imagination with strong belief that you can and you will and you shall see. You know, and it's not always seeing is believing. Sometimes believing is seeing. And so also paying attention to the subtle, fleeting and easily missed. sometimes when we're starting to manifest some more of that magic into our reality, at first it might come through in a bit more subtle ways, or easily missed ways, kind of like a little fairy just dancing out of the corner of your eye, that you may miss if you kind of aren't lightly just paying attention in a playful and curious way to these sort of things that could be coming through for you. And then the more you're able to notice those things, the more they're likely to occur, because what we're focusing our energy on really determines those sort of timelines we're weaving for ourselves here. So the more you're able to notice those little moments of magic, the more they're able to come through and flow down for you. Which really helps with that playful and curious energy to enhance that energy of magic to come through faster for you. So, really following what delights you, following your heart. Your heart knows the way, what lights you up, what makes you happy, what makes you feel playful and curious. These are the portals and, the keys to new doors to really open up a whole new world of experience for yourself. All right, so I feel like, altogether really, really beautiful sort of, loving and playful sort of energy coming through here, really to encourage you on your journey to step more into the magic of life and the world around you. Knowing that you are, so strong and so powerful and have so much infinite eternal wisdom within yourself, but that you also, are so lovingly guided and supported. So don't be afraid just to relax and let the mind go, let those worries and logic go, and to really delve into, the magical play and imagining all the wonderful sort of timelines and miracles that can align you with. I noticed as well in the background, another guest at the accommodation I'm staying at is playing the Bleeding Love song as well. So that might be a sign or synchronicity for you. But I feel like another little, nudge of, really following that love, really allowing that love energy to keep bleeding from without you and into your reality, to manifest more of that love energy in for yourself as well. And also, lining up really greatly here with that divine feminine and masculine polarities we have up here at the top, of the message, really kind of emboldening more of that message of coming into an inner union here, which can also, manifest and reflect into a union in your outer reality as well, with those sort of divine feminine and masculine energies. All right, well, I might leave this one here for now. Wishing you all the best on your journey, and hope so much wonderful and magic and amazing things happen for you, especially the further you get along, and the more you're able to release some of that restricting and limiting ways of the mind, of logic and what have you, to really step more into these infinite possibilities of miraculous magic and miracles here. As there are so many infinite possibilities that really can be weaved into your reality, and you're co-creating that experience. So I'm sure, with this message, and if you're resonating with it, that there's, through this alignment that you're coming even more into here, that there's going to be, so many wonderful and magical and miraculous things in store for you along your journey, which is so exciting. So just don't forget to, stay in that loving, playful energy, and just have so much fun with it now and along the way. All right, sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always. Bye.